With the announcement of the Thief Remaster, we have something to look forward to, but that's not the only thing you should be excited for as a fan of Thief. I've got older games for you to check out, but let's start with something that is also coming out soon. Project Shadowglass is an upcoming immersive sim that, in their own words, is a love letter to Thief, Deus Ex, and System Shock that has been built with a unique 3D pixel art technology. Obviously, the retro-inspired graphics are the first thing that you'll notice. It's sort of like they've harnessed the image that you see in your head of what these older games look like, but with their own take that is honestly quite beautiful. But the thing to really get excited for is the gameplay. You swap between two different modes, and the day you plan and prepare your home, upgrading, getting intel, and filling out your hidden workshop. And at night, you do thief things, navigating in dark areas, studying patrol routes, and manipulating your environment to pick up some cash. For Thief fans, this has huge potential to be the best rendition of the style in years. There is no release date as of yet, but you can wishlist Project Shadowglass on Steam. One of the more promising Thief-style games is also currently in development, but in early access, so you can play it right now. Gloomwood is an immersive sim that will take you into the Victorian era with a bit of horror vibes. Gloomwood takes a bit of a different approach to this style of game, in that you have an entire arsenal of different weapons to use if you get caught. A cane sword, a revolver, a shotgun, and all sorts of different gizmos and gadgets to trap your enemies. Gloomwood's setting lets you explore a handcrafted city from the top of the rooftops to the hidden passages and sewers. You'll decide how to navigate through the world. Ammo is limited, and taking out enemies isn't always easy, so you'll have to really learn how all the systems work together in order to stealthily make your way around. You can play Gloomwood right now in early access on Steam. For fans of Thief, there is a well-loved project that some of you may have already heard of. I have to recommend the Dark Mod. The Dark Mod is a free, open-source game that was set up as a framework and now hosts nearly 200 fan-made missions, including entire campaigns. The Dark Mod was obviously heavily inspired by Thief, and it takes place in a gothic steampunk world. The mod was originally a conversion mod of Doom 3, but eventually became its own standalone thing. At this point, it's an entire game. It's a huge thing. It's something that Thief fans should definitely check out. It's a widely celebrated free game that is pretty much a must-play if you enjoy Thief. All you have to do is download it from their website and play. The next game I'd like to recommend is a game called Filter. It's a first-person 2.5D noir stealth game in the style of the classic immersive sims like Thief and Deus Ex. It has all the systems that you would expect, including cover, shadows, and audio detection, so you have to be very careful. All of the levels have been handcrafted and filled with loot for you to steal. You have all sorts of different tools to use, like the blackjack, sleep darts, flashbangs, and wind-up toys. They aren't trying to reinvent the wheel here. This is a game that takes the ideas that have been built up over the years in this genre and iterates on those well. I definitely recommend Thief fans to pick up this game, and it is out right now. You can get it on Steam. For a game that I would describe as the next evolution of the stealth genre, I'd also recommend that you pick up Hitman World of Assassination if you haven't already. The recent Hitman games that released as a trilogy and now are packaged into one thing are incredible for people that like to experiment with different ways to take people out. Obviously, this is less about ransacking valuables, more about assassination, but the playstyle feels similar enough that I'd recommend it for fans that just want to mess around in a stealth sandbox. Part of what makes Hitman so great is the wide variety of different ways you can accomplish your goals. You can do an elaborate scheme with many different steps, or you could just knock someone out with a potato and hurl them off a cliff. It's really up to you. You can play Hitman World of Assassination on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I've heard this game described as the next iteration of the ideas that Thief set up. I'd also like to recommend Dishonored. Dishonored is a bit of a different take that adds supernatural elements to the tools at your disposal, with the ability to blink or teleport, see through walls, take possession of other people, harness the all-consuming power of rats. There are a ton of different ways to do every step. Dishonored also has a great story that allows you to make different choices that lead you down different paths. The great thing about Dishonored is that if you enjoy it, Dishonored 2 is just more of the same, but expanded. And there's a side story called Death of the Outsider as well. So there's plenty of games for you to dig into. Start with the first one. You can play Dishonored on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And for bonus game suggestions, I have a second video that you should check out, because if you like Thief, chances are you will also love other immersive sims. In my video about games like Deus Ex and Dishonored, I go into all sorts of indie games that cover exactly that topic. I'll put a link to that in the description box below, so make sure to go check that out. If you have any suggestions about other games Thief fans should check out, make sure to tell me about them in the comments. You could inspire someone to find their new favorite game, so tell me all about them. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.